Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Have you ever picked up a penny and wondered if it might be worth more than just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that a simple penny from 2012, one you might overlook in your pocket change, could be worth up to $186 today? Stick around, because this story takes us from the humble beginnings of the Lincoln cent all the way to a modern-day treasure hunt, where everyday people are discovering that history and value can lie in the most unexpected places. Our story begins over 100 years ago, in 1909, when the first Lincoln cent was introduced. At the time, the United States Mint made a bold decision to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln, on a circulating coin. This was a significant departure from tradition, as up until that point, U.S. coins typically bore images of allegorical figures like liberty. But 1909 marked the centennial of Lincoln's birth, and what better way to honor the 16th president than by placing his image in the hands of every American? Now, to the average person, a 2012 penny might look just like any other modern coin. But here's where the story gets interesting. That year, the United States Mint produced these coins at two facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark, while the Denver minted ones are marked with a small d just below the year. In total, billions of Lincoln cents were struck in 2012, nearly 4.4 billion from Philadelphia and about 4 billion from Denver. That's right, billions with a B. So how could any of these coins possibly be valuable? There's also the matter of minting errors. These are the accidental quirks that occurred during the production process: off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and so on. While errors are unintentional, they're often treasured by collectors precisely because they're unusual. Now let's talk about rarity. You might be thinking, how can something be rare when billions were made? And that's a fair question. But the truth is, even in a sea of billions, only a handful of coins will come out absolutely perfect. Even fewer will be set aside, untouched, and preserved in perfect or near-perfect condition. When one of these coins is graded MS68 or higher, especially with an error variety or special designation, it becomes highly sought after. And when collectors compete for these high-grade specimens at auction, the prices can climb fast. In 2012, there was no special mint set issued for general collectors, and there were no silver or commemorative versions of the Lincoln penny. But the regular mint strikes still garnered attention from numismatists. In particular, coin roll hunters, people who search through bank rolls of coins looking for gems, reported finding some impressive examples of the 2012 penny, including coins with very strong strikes, brilliant luster, and even a few with error varieties that had not yet been catalogued by the major grading services. Take, for example, one 2012 D Lincoln cent that was graded MS68 read by PCGS. With only a tiny number of examples known at that grade, this particular coin was sold at auction for a whopping $186. Imagine that, a single 1-cent coin, less than 15 years old, commanding nearly $200. That's not just good luck, that's the thrill of numismatics in action. Of course, not every 2012 penny is going to be worth that much. Most are worth just face value. But the story here is more than just about money. It's about attention to detail. It's about appreciating the history and craftsmanship behind something as ordinary as a penny. It's about the joy of discovery and the excitement of knowing that buried among the billions, there are treasures waiting to be found by sharp eyes and curious minds. What's also fascinating is the shift in public perception of the penny itself. In recent years, there's been a growing debate about whether the United States should even continue minting 1-cent coins. Critics argue that the cost of producing a penny now exceeds its face value, and that the coin has outlived its usefulness in modern commerce. But stories like the 2012 penny challenge that notion. Because for collectors, the penny isn't just a coin, it's a time capsule. It's a piece of national identity. And sometimes, it's a hidden gem. The 2012 Lincoln cent also reflects an evolution in U.S. coinage materials. By 1982, the mint had shifted from primarily copper coins to copper-plated zinc due to rising metal costs. This means that the 2012 penny is composed of 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper. It's lighter than its predecessors, and if you tap it, it sounds different, too. Though its composition may be humble, its legacy is anything but. Some collectors choose to build complete sets of Lincoln cents, and for them, a top-grade 2012 penny is a must-have. Especially if it's a Denver or Philadelphia strike in flawless condition. The presence of a high-grade example in a registry set can make the difference between a decent collection and an award-winning one. So, where can you find these valuable 2012 pennies? The answer might surprise you: anywhere. Bank rolls, pocket change, old jars of coins sitting in your kitchen, estate sales, garage sales. Sometimes, the best finds come from the most unexpected places. The key is to look closely. Use a magnifier. Pay attention to the luster, the strike, the sharpness of the details. Check the date, the mint mark, and compare them with known error types listed in online databases or in coin collecting guides. It's a crisp morning in February of 1972. The sun just beginning to stretch its light across the quiet streets of Denver. Inside the United States Mint, machines hum almost imperceptibly, stretching and striking metal with precision and power. Among the many coins being produced today, there lies one small disc of copper, destined to become a 1972 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark. That tiny D, standing for Denver, will later mark its wrist in history, subtle, humble, and will one day fetch attention and acclaim in the world of coin collecting. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the life of that penny, the story, the craftsmanship, the legacy, and its current value, $1.79. The story begins much earlier than 1972. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, had become a symbol of unity, freedom, and perseverance. In 1909, when the Lincoln cent was introduced to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person on the obverse. Victor David Brenner's design, with Lincoln's profile facing right, became instantly iconic. Then, in 1959, the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial design, the tiny, carved image of the Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. By the time we reached the 1970s, the Lincoln penny had become deeply ingrained in American everyday life. It jingled in pockets, rattled in vending machines, built up in jars, paid for bubblegum and soda. But even such a commonplace coin carries within its metal a story of artistry, economics, and historical shifts. In 1972, the United States was experiencing a complex mix of decline and hope. The Cold War raged in the background, the Vietnam War still weighed on hearts and minds. Watergate had just begun to percolate in the public consciousness. Economic concerns like inflation and shifting industry were rising. Yet in art, culture, music, forces of change and expression were pushing forward. Amid all of that, the simple penny, something so everyday, continued to circulate, witness to societal shifts and silent in its passing through countless hands. Minting details. The Denver Mint in 1972 produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents. In terms of production numbers, more Lincoln cents were made than most people could imagine. The exact mintage figures for the 1972 D Lincoln cent are high, over 1.5 billion pieces. That means a colossal number of these little pennies exist. Because of that, rarity in terms of mere existence is not what makes the 1972 D particularly prized among collectors. Its condition, error, variety, and provenance that shift its value. Errors and varieties. As with many coins, some 1972 D Lincoln pennies show variations. Some have doubled dies, where the images or letters are slightly doubled due to dies misaligned or struck in a way that left a second faint impression. Some may show repunched mint marks, a mint mark that was punched, then slightly repunched off-center. Some coins may display planchet issues, small cracks, lamination errors, or weak strikes, areas where the metal didn't fully fill the die's design. These error coins can fetch premiums above the typical value of a circulated specimen. Collector appeal comes from many angles. First, nostalgia and continuity. People love Lincoln cents because they've been around so long, they're a thread through generations. Maybe your grandparents kept coins, maybe you remember saving them in jars, maybe you found them under couch cushions. That moment of discovery has magic. Second, condition collectors, the competition to find coins in near pristine shape. Third, error hunters, those who search for varieties, doubled dies, misstrikes. Fourth, those who love mint marks, who trace the subtle differences between Denver, Philadelphia, San Francisco issues. Now, let's pull together all the threads: the history, the design, the condition, the collector appeal. A 1972 D penny is not rare in number. But a 1972 D in high, mint state condition, especially with strong strike, full rims, original color, minimal marks, is rare enough to be prized deeply. Add to that any error or variety, and its value jumps further. Before I reveal the big number, I want to pose a challenge. If you had such a coin 1972D, struck at Denver, with brilliant surfaces, original red copper, sharp strike, strong rims, nowhere, probably certified, what would you expect it to be worth? You might think in the range of tens or maybe low hundreds. But the market for such coins is surprisingly strong, especially among Lincoln cent specialists and copper coin collectors. And now, the reveal. A top-tier, certified, gem-uncirculated 1972D Lincoln penny with brilliant, original surfaces, strong luster, full details, and no detracting marks can demand a value of $179 in today's collector marketplace. That's right, $179 for a 1-cent piece whose face value is, well, 1 cent. It's not every day you hold something so small yet so storied, so common in origin yet so rare in condition. Think of what that means. Counselors at grading services have verified its condition, collectors have vied for it, perhaps auctioned, perhaps carefully negotiated. Such a coin doesn't turn up in everyday pocket change. It resides in collections, in glass-top displays, preserved in coin collectors' homes. And each coin like that carries intact the story of craftspeople, of alloy, of strike force, of time and handling saved. They say that some of the most extraordinary treasures come in the smallest forms. Tucked away in pockets, forgotten in piggy banks, or resting silently at the bottom of an old coin jar, there could be a penny worth far more than just 1 cent. Imagine reaching into your change and pulling out a tiny copper coin that's worth $159. Yes, a single penny. But not just any penny. This is the story of the 1998 Lincoln penny with the Denver Mint mark, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors across the country. And now, let's take a journey back to 1998, a time when Bill Clinton was president, Google had just been founded in a California garage, and gas cost barely over $1 per gallon. It was also a time when the United States Mint quietly continued one of the longest-running coin designs in American history, the Lincoln cent. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the penny bearing his profile had long become a staple of everyday life. By 1998, millions upon millions of these coins were minted, passed around, and taken for granted. But amid the ordinary, a few stood out. The 1998 Lincoln penny minted in Denver, identified by the tiny D mint mark just beneath the date, was, at first glance, just another coin. Composed of copper-plated zinc, weighing just 2.5 grams, and featuring the same familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, it seemed no different from the rest. But numismatists, those who dedicate their lives to the study and collection of coins, saw something more. Something subtle. Something valuable. While billions of pennies were struck in 1998, and millions came from the Denver Mint, not all were created equal. Within this vast sea of coins, certain examples stand out due to errors, condition, and collector demand. Some of the 1998 D pennies have retained extraordinary detail and luster, even after decades in circulation. Others were pulled aside early, untouched by the wear and tear of everyday life, and stored in pristine condition. These are the coins collectors dream of finding, but rarity alone doesn't explain the whole picture. The 1998 D Lincoln penny is also a symbol, a piece of history captured in metal. For many collectors, owning a coin like this isn't just about its monetary value. It's about holding onto a fragment of the past, a small yet tangible link to a specific year, a specific place, and a specific story. A story that includes the Denver Mint, a facility that has been producing coins since 1906 and is known for its precision and quality. As with all things collectible, demand plays a crucial role. Over the years, the popularity of Lincoln cents has soared, especially among beginner collectors. Pennies are accessible. They're easy to find, fun to collect, and they span over a century of American history. For someone just getting started in the world of numismatics, Lincoln cents offer the perfect introduction. And within this series, certain dates and mint marks become the stars. The 1998 D penny, especially in top condition, is one such star. Let's talk a bit about the hunt, because half the thrill of coin collecting is the search itself. Imagine sorting through a roll of pennies, eyes scanning each date, flipping each coin over, watching the light catch the copper surface, hoping to spot something out of the ordinary. And then, there it is, a 1998 penny with a strong strike, flawless fields, minimal contact marks. You flip it over. No scratches. No discoloration. It's almost glowing. Then you see it, the tiny D beneath the date. It could be worth more than lunch. It could be worth $159. That's right, as of recent auctions and collector market trends, some 1998 D Lincoln pennies in high-grade mint state condition have sold for up to $159. We're talking about coins graded MS67 and above, with perfect surfaces and untouched luster. Coins that were likely pulled directly from mint sets or lucky rolls and stored carefully for decades. These aren't your average pocket change, these are prized examples, and they're gaining attention. Of course, not every 1998 D penny is worth a fortune. Most are still worth just 1 cent. Some, in circulated condition, might bring in a few cents if sold in bulk. But those rare few, the ones that have survived in pristine shape, untouched by time, are fetching real money. And as more people enter the hobby, as more collectors chase high-grade examples, the demand and value continues to climb. So next time you're handed change at the store, don't just shove it into your pocket. Take a moment. Look at the dates. Look for the mint marks. You never know what you might find. Because somewhere out there, waiting to be discovered, might be your very own 1998 D penny in mint condition. And if you're lucky, very lucky, it could be worth $159. And that, my friends, is why the smallest coin in your wallet could be the most valuable thing you carry. Keep searching. Keep collecting. Because stories like this are out there, just waiting to be found. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a hidden treasure. Until next time, happy collecting!